Hi guys, so Peter is my boss. We're not going to do that every episode, are we?
Yes, I'm your boss. You have a boyfriend, I have a wife.
I'm Peter's assistant.
Yes, and I don't shoot with Fuji because I've never owned one.
You can't get your look and capture one.
My life story is I was born, then failed school, then got into in a band, then got into sound engineering, then got into ceramics, then got into truck driving because I was in the band, and then became a landscape labourer, then became a landscaper, then became a supervisor. In between that, I was an ops manager for the transport company. Then I started a wholesale nursery market and started a fishing business. Then I was employed by a magazine to shoot some photos. Then I became a loser. Then I started doing weddings, parties, anything. Then I got into fashion, and now fashion is gone. And that was very monochrome.
It wasn't monotone.
No, mine was monochrome, black and white. Come on, would you get things right now? Hey, we're back in Australia, we're back home.
I know, thank God.
Another disclaimer, any dog noises, bird noises or snake noises.
But snake doesn't make a noise.
It hisses, it goes...
No, I've never heard it.
I can make it hiss near you, it means
Please
it's going to bite.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's
I can make it hiss.
No, it's fine, I'm happy with not hearing
Anyway,
it.
if my budgies go off because our budgies had babies and now there's a whole heap of incestual things in that one
There's
page.
5 budgies now.
Oh, there they go. And we've got 2 dogs that are... Somewhere, but they go off if a leaf lands on the ground. And
So sorry about the noises. But...
Yeah, they're the Bec noises.
No, it's just Peter's cabin in the woods noises.
My cabin in the woods.
This is a little cabin in the woods. So yeah, we're back home. We've been home like a week, nearly a week.
Oh yeah, we flew back like 2 days before we fly back, get this invite to the opening of the launch of Bec's perfume, which is...
It wasn't the opening, it was the launch.
Oh, the launch of Bec's perfume, which is a cross between strawberry watermelon vape, stale cigarettes and red wine.
I kind of wish it smelled like that, but no, it doesn't. It smells nice though.
It smells nice though.
Yeah, so I got a perfume bottle, which was really exciting. So we flew back and then we went to the perfume launch. And then I got some sleep and then I went out and partied. I don't know why this happened when I got back from Europe as well. Like the weekend after we got back, I had like a Psytrance event to go to and it's like, oh yeah, you just land in the country.
Didn't you have 2 events to go to?
After Europe I did, yeah. I had Psytrance and a metal show, whereas this time I just had to go to the Psytrance event. Where they cut the music off early. I was so disappointed.
What place shuts at 10 o'clock? Like, are you going to kindergarten? Is this a what they call them, blue light? Do you go to a blue light disco?
I did go to a blue light disco. I was so mad though because like I paid money to see this certain DJ and he was in the middle of his set and it's not like he started DJing yesterday. I think he knows what he's doing and the sound kept cutting out and they were trying to blame him and it's like he is an international DJ. I think he knows what he's doing. Why are you guys doing with the sound? And then all of a sudden they just cut it completely and kicked us out with no explanation.
That's because there was 12 people in there.
So? Every
second, what the barman was costing was more than the revenue they made for the whole night.
Not with me there. I drank a lot of Coronas.
Yeah, but you tend to make friends with the barman and they just give it to you for nothing.
No, that didn't happen this time. No, I was in that like, I don't know. I wish I was as rich as I am when I get drunk. Or as rich as I think I am. I wish I was as rich as I think I am when I'm drunk. Because give me a few drinks, then I start to, I'll buy you a drink at my shout. Who wants a shout?
You've never ever offered to buy me a drink.
I'm sure I have.
I'm sure you haven't.
I'm sure
It's always grab my card and buy you a drink and shout the rest of the people.
I'm sure I have offered to buy you a drink.
You did give me my cards back. You weren't out there with my cards, were you?
I did give them back, didn't I? Yes.
Yes. I was just checking that you didn't use them to shout everybody else's drinks.
I was using my own and then I checked my bank account and was like, oh yes, I definitely bought everyone drinks. My bad. But other than that, it's nice to be home.
It's great to be home.
Traveling's like great and all. And I guess this is one of the things when people ask us like, come to this country, come here. It's like, we would absolutely love to, but there's only so many.
Omani?
Omani.
What's an omani?
Like
you're on your first wine. Oh, the Omega Man.
No, I like the movie with the devil child.
The Omen. That sums you up.
But no, there's only so many hours in each day and each day and each month and each month and each year. So we would love to get everywhere, but we can't. And also we miss being home.
I think the biggest... I miss my bed. That'd be number one, because I always sleep well in my bed. But the first morning, the coffee.
Oh, yes.
The first cup of coffee.
Proper coffee that wasn't coffee-flavoured water.
And it's not not covered in milk. Like, it's basically coffee-flavoured milk, warm. No. And it's nice and strong. It's ground, fresh.
I still haven't had Vegemite yet. How un-Australian of me.
I had that for first breakfast.
I feel like I need to make some Vegemite toasts.
And then just, like, I've had brisket.
You've had that in Austin.
I know, but I made it this time. Well, I didn't have to queue for like 15 hours. I didn't have to talk to Brad Pitt's daughter. Just not have to talk to Brad Pitt's daughter was enough. Sorry, the unknown daughter. Oh
crap. No, because I'm such a fussy eater, it's been nice for me to cook my own food again because I know how I like it. So there's little things like that. Like I did loaded baked potatoes last night. Oh, it was so good. Like made my potatoes were nice and crispy, and I'd be like put right amount of spices in there. Everything just was good, and having nice Australian wine again, and coffee, and my bed, and
your cats.
My cats who didn't know who I was at first. They got really scared because Jared was at work, and Jared, of course.
Of course, the last thing on the list, Jared.
He was at work when I got home. I walked in and the cats were asleep on the bed. And they just kind of looked like, I think I startled them, and they looked at me, I was like, who the hell are you? Like, they just looked at me really scared, and I sat down and they came and sniffed me, and then they started rubbing up against me.
Oh, they sniffed you. Watermelon vapes, red wine, and stale cigarettes. You should make a perfume. So now that Jared's got the perfume, you just spray it around when you're not there and they'll think you're home.
Oh, they remember who I am now. They were very excited to see me.
They remembered.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I love travelling.
Me too.
But especially the last trip, we didn't even have time to scratch off. So I only realised, and I blame you for it, so we're away over 4 weeks and we spent 1 hour shooting. That's it. In 4 weeks. That's all you gave me.
We didn't have time. 1
hour. That's all you could give me.
I would have happily shot with you, but we didn't have time. What?
1 hour.
Well, I'm happy to shoot with you.
No, it's all right. I know I've been cancelled. I've been dumped.
You know I wanted to...
No, I only realised yesterday when I was going through...
Well, I wanted to shoot...
Backing up. Like, it took me 2 days of backing up everything from being overseas.
Well, I wanted to shoot in LA, but we didn't have time because we were busy. And then Chicago again, we were busy. And then Austin, we did shoot. And then New York, we were busy. So... Sorry.
That's all right.
And I'm happy to shoot after, like, when it's later and use the roto light and have that really cool Ellen Von Unwerth look. But you like that show night.
Well, last time I shot you that way, you hated the shot.
Because I went on a toilet. I don't like toilet shots.
You're no fun.
I never said I didn't like the lighting.
Shay, Anne, Audrey, they all got on toilets for me.
I did too, and I don't like it. So I probably would have liked any other photo from that series, but you didn't retouch any of them.
I think the ones out on the bench looked a bit agricultural. I'll have a look, because if I haven't marked it, if I've marked some, I'll retouch another one.
All right.
But I've been going crazy on so much catching up.
Yeah, didn't you say you've retouched 14 photos?
Yeah, I actually have 15. 15 photos of retouch. Because it's very hard for me to... I'm making excuses now. I'm much more comfortable retouching on the road, at home, only because of the big screen and I'm in a comfortable seat. So we always end up with the most horrible seats to sit in.
I was thinking that yesterday because I came back to work yesterday and sitting in my nice office chair here, I was like, oh God, this is so nice because just some of the seats are like...
Yeah, just horrible. Even the studios. Like, I see you zigzagging around, trying every seat in the studio and then give up.
Well, I think, I can't remember where we were. I think it was Chicago. My back just absolutely killed me and they had a nice couch. And so I was like, oh. So I went over and just laid back on the couch just to stretch my back out and told everyone, I was like, I know
you did that in New York.
I did it in both.
Both.
Both. And I told everyone, I'm like, I'm not being lazy. I just need to stretch my back out.
I'm just going to sleep, all right? Peter can handle this on his own.
No, oh God, my back. It's so sore, but I'm getting better now. I'm back in my own bed and I've got my nice office chair. And I've got my fussy food.
Your fussy food. Well, I was ready to do a big 5-hour stint on the plane. But Bec got us downgraded, so I had to sit in some little tiny square that I couldn't even get my laptop out.
I did
and
not.
I had grumpy old lady sitting next to me watching some really weird bondage movie. Like, I just looked at her, and she was triple masked, and she had one over her eyes and over her ears, and I think she had them on her feet as well. She might have had tenure or something. She was just making sure that she didn't give any of us her diseases, which was really nice of her. But yeah, don't trust airlines. We were supposed to, Bec paid for an upgrade to business for our flight from New York to LA.
Yeah,
and it was so I could work on the plane. And we get to the airport and we're checking in and the guy's giving us a hard time that we're over our luggage and this and that.
Wanted to charge us $400 for the extra weight when we've already paid $600 to the upgrade. And I had the email with the upgrade confirmation. Well, I logged in to a few days prior. I used the confirmation code that we had. Logged in, pops up with our names, our flight from Newark to LA. On the right date, 5:25. That was the flight time I had remembered. And that was all confirmed. And then the guy's like, no, you're in economy. And I was like, no, we're in business. And I showed him the confirmation. He's like, oh, no, you're on this flight number. This is a different flight number. I'm like, so how was I able to upgrade us for a flight that we're not on? Like, when were you planning on telling us you've even changed our flight? I got very cross.
Then he got the supervisor because he couldn't answer a single question.
Yeah.
And she's coming, oh, well, you got upgraded because your connecting flight, it wasn't going to get in time. So why didn't you move our upgrade? Oh, I can't answer that. Go see the girl at...
Yeah, just shift the blame.
Shift the blame to the girl up at the check-in, like the...
Well, not the blame, just shift to the responsibility.
And we've got one seat there, so... It was a terrible flight. We're going to nag on a bit this for us. It was just one of these horrible things. We get up there, we have a talk to her, and we were told there's one seat left. We get to her, no, there's no seats. And but downstairs, oh no, there's no seats. It's fully booked, this flight. So you're going to have to stay completely in separate spots, both you in centre, aisle centre seats. And then I started to kick up a little bit, and all of a sudden, oh, we can put you into the emergency exits, but you're not going to be sitting together. But we get on the plane, we're sitting together.
And then she just kept just saying, so, I mean, all she could do was say sorry, but it's like, this is kind of just piss poor, like.
Well, it goes on. We're going to sound like whingers for the next 5 minutes. So we decided, because we got to the airport enough time for an hour and a half to sit in the lounge, but because we'd been downgraded and moved to a different flight that was earlier, we now... Sorry, I've got to stop so Bec can feed herself. So we now missed out on having breakfast or lunch. And there's this little bar-y thing directly opposite the gate. We decided to go in there.
We're like, okay, we'll just grab a quick drink, maybe something. They've got some chips or something.
So the only way you can eat there is you have to scan their thing.
And then you got to enter your credit card details, and you got to make an account, and you got to say, can I not just please speak to a human and pass over a card? Like, this is
Well, we did all of that, and then all of a sudden it was disconnecting us.
It was just ridiculous.
So we didn't get a drink or anything to eat. We get on the plane, and we get an announcement on the plane, unless you've got the United Airways app, you can't buy anything on the plane either. We don't accept cards. So Bec's madly trying to get the app uploaded into the phone. Now it's asking us all questions. It's got 30 questions. So what country was your mother born in?
What was your least favourite subject in school? What's your favourite type of music?
And we're nearly getting shut down that we had to
put on
turn flight mode. And finally got it all in, we couldn't get a credit card logged in, so we had to do PayPal. When they do come around for the first drink, it wouldn't swipe at first, but then it swiped separately. So it comes up on a barcode on your phone. The second order we put in, one of 27 orders that we put in, but the second order we put in, she must have wasted 10 minutes. I said, isn't just a credit card tap so much easier than all this crap?
And even she agreed. She was like,
this is just a joke. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I just don't.
that's how whinging. We got to LA straight off our plane, 17-kilometre walk through tunnels. Bec's feet were killing her because she decided she's going to wear a posh Prada boots that she hasn't worn in yet.
Well, because if anything happens on the plane, they say that you've got to leave everything behind. So if I've got to leave everything behind, they're at least on my person.
But you normally take your shoes off once you get on the plane anyway.
I'd put them on to leave the plane. I'm not jumping in the ocean with freaking...
You're not going to have time to... Those boots take you 10 minutes to put on.
I'll go down with the plane.
You'll go down with the plane. Anyway, we after our marathon to get from one terminal to, what was it, Tom Bradley?
Yes.
We get in, we walk into Qantas Club, and it was like...
And then the flight to Sydney was cancelled. We were like, the lady at the front was like, well, at least you're going to Melbourne and not Sydney. We were like, thank God for that. I felt sorry for everyone that was going to Sydney, though.
No, you didn't. You had a bit of a snigger.
Well, for those that don't know, for those that aren't from Australia, there is this like little rivalry between Sydney
Bec
and Melbourne.
Sydney?
No, just Sydney and Melbourne.
No, it's Bec and Sydney.
It's not, it's Sydney and Melbourne. And Sydney don't like Melbourne and Melbourne don't like Sydney. I don't know where it stems from. It's just always been a thing. It's not very serious, but it's like a little bit of jokesies.
Jokesies.
I need to make sure, I should have flipped the screen around to make sure that I can.
Make sure you're recording.
I am recording. Oh my God.
Am you recording?
Yeah.
You're sure now?
Yeah. I
Right.
did freak out. Oh no, I was just making sure I'm in frame.
I'm just fireballing. I'm doing a cook eye. I've decided this is I've called this a cook eye.
What is the cook eye? Please enlighten us.
50-50 Southern Fireball on the rock.
On the rock.
On the rock. One rock. Has to be one rock.
I found a spicy margarita recipe on YouTube for you, and the guy uses a nice big ice cube like you do as well.
Cool. No, but margarita's supposed to be. No, it's got to be Kill Bill. Got to be chunks of friggin' ice. You put some ice in the blender, only half crushes it, and there's big chunks. And
oh no, he does it shaken.
No,
like,
no, you can stick
that's
that.
how they were making them all when we were.
Yeah, that's your. I want a Kill Bill spicy.
Okay, good luck finding that. I think you've made that up.
No, well, yeah, of course I made it up. It's going to be my drink. It's like my cook eye.
Well, you're not going to find a YouTube
Can you remember in the bar? I can't remember where it was. I told the barman, he goes, "You're crazy." So he actually poured it, and he poured himself a little one. He goes, "That's friggin' awesome." And I said, if you do it really properly, what you do, you put Southern Comfort out of the freezer, the bottom half,
and then
and you
put
carefully put the warm. Sorry, it's the other way around. You put the warm fireball on the bottom first. You rock in, then you put the freezing cold Southern on top, and then they slowly blend because hot rises, cold drops. That's why planes bounce around a lot.
I don't like it when they do that. They were doing that a little bit on our trip home. I get very scared.
Very scared. But anyway, we're both really, really glad to be back.
Yes, as fun as it was, as great of a time as we had, it was just good to be home. Moral of the story.
The moral.
And we're only home for a month, and then we go to Fiji with Rara. And then we're home for another month. And
that's
then
right, I can rearrange it that you don't travel anymore.
Why did I say I don't want to travel anymore?
Yeah, I'm just getting in before you do.
Well, I didn't.
I didn't. Anyway, so I've had a bit of a fun week. I had a couple of things that sort of woke me up a bit. I know.
So woke, Peter.
So woke. I think I'll go with one thing first, and it was a comment that I got on. There's a picture I did of Lottie, which I absolutely loved how I shot it. And even when I was going through the pictures, trying to decide which one I was going to edit for her, I saw this one, had a hand hanging off the table, but there was just the very edge of the back of her jeans just showing, because it was an implied topless shot, and just this one little bit of clothing showing. I love that the way it is. I wish I had a touch more, but I'll live with how that is. And I edited up and came up so much better than I expected to. So I was struggling to get the toning I wanted for this picture. I really wanted like high contrast but low contrast. I know this sounds really, really dumb, but I have a thing like I try and get things 50 shades of grey, nothing black, nothing white. I wanted a tiniest bit of black and a tiniest bit of white, but everything else to sit more in that 50 shades of grey without losing detail. So it took me a bit, and I got there in the end. I think I spent half an hour just toning it to get the skin tone and the background how I wanted it. And I posted it, and Lottie was absolutely wrapped in it. And I had this comment saying, is that a bit of the genes? I would have cropped that out.
Yeah, or like edited it out or whatever.
Edited out, and that was fine. My normal comment would have been, well, if I cut that out, then it would have been your picture, it wouldn't have been mine. And because of the workshops, more and more, especially in America, I saw this relief coming to a lot of the photographers who are at the workshops regards to when I was talking to them about, don't you hate it that you can't sit and watch a movie now? Because you start watching a movie and you start picking on, they're blowing the highlights out in his face, they're doing this, and you're not even watching the movie, and even better, you're not even letting the DOP or the director or any of those people give you the feeling they want you to take out of the movie. You're too busy looking at the photography.
Yeah.
So you've just literally wrecked the movie. And I can say this because I know a long time ago I was doing the same a little bit. And I started thinking careful. And I answered the guy saying that that was his opinion, but you really need to learn to stop looking at photography as a photographer.
And look at it how it's
look at it from the eyes of the creator and enjoy or not enjoy what they've done. Don't look at it through the rules of a camera club photographer or what you believe because you're destroying the story. And this goes like, if you watch movies, especially like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like the color grading and all of that now, if that movie hadn't come out, you wouldn't like that color grading if it was in a photo.
I don't know.
Well, it's a little bit filtery.
I like that.
Yeah, but it's still a filtery type of a look because it's based on movies of that time.
Yeah.
But photographers especially would look at it and go, yeah. They'd have their thing about it. But the way they had color graded that entire movie for all the little bits of scenes that they stole out of other movies and dropped Leonardo in and things like that, it was so clever that you got the feel and the emotion of the scene just by the color grading, regardless if, that was all they could do back then, or is how brilliant they were to be able to recreate that feeling.
Yeah.
I think the best thing I've ever done is get back to watching movies, still enjoying cinematography, but not letting it wreck the story, or not like let the director and the DOP tell their story to me and let me take in their story rather than judge it by my taste.
Well, haven't like a few of the movies you've been watching recently that you've really liked been in black and white?
I wonder why. Well, one of them I didn't even know was Nebraska. I think it's Nebraska was all in black and white. I'm pretty sure. I didn't even know it was a black and white movie. I love that movie.
This guy's doing horribly on Tipping Point.
Oh, Bec's watching it. I wondered why she kept on looking. I thought she was looking at me, but she's not. She's looking across the TV. Tipping. It's just after 3:00. This is.
I love it. It's like my little guilty pleasure in the afternoon.
Guilty pleasure.
This guy's going for the jackpot. He's doing absolutely horribly. I've been listening, but it's like...
No, you haven't.
I have been. You were talking about seeing like filters and Once Upon a Time. And I've been having
Once
conversation
upon a time, a thing doesn't tip. I got a black one anyway. You can see, this is what I got to put up with. Normally, it's like she's trying to film on a thing, and she's got her phone open. There's some public freak out happening.
No, it's not like that. I just saw that they were doing the drop zones.
The drop zones.
I like my drop zones. But yeah, no, I noticed I sometimes I think I also did it when I first started working for you and I started learning a bit more about lighting and stuff. I found myself, actually no, I still do it as well. I find myself looking at catch lights in people's eyes and be like, oh, that's how they've lit this scene. And it's like,
I just missed the movie.
Because I was too busy like focusing on the catch lights and not listening to what they were saying just to work out how they lit this scene. And
or at least watch the movie first and come back the second time and look at the lighting.
It's silly, isn't it? And I'm not even a photographer and I get guilty of doing that, so...
Yeah, no, I used to be very guilty of it. Now, what I tend to do, and it's even that, to kill a sacred deer, is that what it was called? Something like that. It was it's a really weird, messed up movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though Nicole Kidman was in it. She actually did quite a good role. But there was a couple of scenes that were so much like Owen Olaf's photography, and it didn't take away. I just really... Because he did a exhibition called Grief, And especially the scene where it set up the two kids in the lounge room in the hospital beds with the IVs. It had that same feel of lighting that Owen Olaf did in his series called Grief. So that's a job for Bec now. She's going to have to try and find this for you guys and put a link in description
Would
below.
you say Grief, Owen?
Grief. Owen Olaf.
Let me write it down because I keep forgetting to write things down, and then people are asking where the links are.
Oh,
like,
yeah, someone...
Yeah, because we said we'd put a link to chopped cheese, and then we never put a link to
No,
chopped
you
cheese.
never did.
Well, I have now.
Oh, you've put one up now.
Grief. Cool.
You got that done now? But anyway, back, just finishing off on that, I think it's really, really important if you want to get better as anything in the arts. It doesn't matter if it's music, photography, anything that's in the creative world, is stop looking at it in a negative view of what they've done. Look into what they've done as a creative view so you can learn yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to like what they've done, but if you don't like it, don't even try and break it down. But if you do like it, take on the feeling that the director has got through to you, or the artist has got through you, or the musician's got through to you, and then try and put those things into your own work.
No, I agree.
You agree?
I agree. I do.
You do. Well, I've got a part 2 on that, since Bec's always supposed to have a list of things that she can talk about, and she came up blank because I think she's still hungover from America.
No, I'm not. It's because I've been trying to do accounting.
Oh, that's right. You have to do
And
accounting. You broke it.
I didn't break it.
You
My job
did.
did some stupid update and it's not doing what it used to do, and now it's like broken, and now I don't know how to fix it. And I have to contact the accountant, and it's going to cost you lots of money, and I don't know how to do it. I'm scared of it.
So I'll put you... Anybody wants to buy some Prada boots?
No.
They're very small size though. That's the only
Anyone who
problem.
wants a job, I'll pay you to be an accountant for me.
They'll want to fly them from America or something.
If you're in Australia and you want a bookkeeping job, and I'll pay you money.
Anyways, because I came prepared, Bec didn't, but...
I was stressed. I didn't sleep last night because I've been having really weird dreams again. I've been having I had a weird dream I was dreaming about workshops the other night and like them going really badly. This is like, what is that?
That's not a dream. That's what happens every time you run there.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I don't know, just having weird dreams.
So dreams about models not turning up, or catering that's wrong, or...
I can't remember. I just remember something went really wrong. And then I had some dream last night. I had like really bad acne, and that was horrific. My
not
skin
that
is
bad.
bad at the moment though. It's really, I don't know. I've just been having weird dreams, and I've been stressed about this accounting stuff. So I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place. And maybe I'm a little bit still. No, I'm not still hungover.
No.
No.
You sure?
Yeah. Monday, I'm so happy I didn't have
You were looking pretty floaty when you posted something at like 10 o'clock on Sunday night.
No, I was very hungover on Monday.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. You looked
Yeah.
floaty on Sunday
Yeah, I
night.
know. Jared didn't take Monday off. Jared had
You
work.
have to work Monday. He looked twice as floaty as you.
He had work. But he was working from home, so that was all right.
Oh, so he actually didn't get out of bed.
No, he did.
He did.
He woke me up. We had to go get his car because it was at the station. He would have got a parking fine. But I came back and I went to check. Like after we came back, I just went to the couch and got the blanket and just started binge watching Netflix. I got up to check on him and I go into the office and he's sitting there with the hood over and he's just like typing away at his code. I was like, oh.
Sure he was typing?
He was doing his coding, but he was a potato.
A potato.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't come prepared. So Peter's part 2.
My part 2. Well, my part 2 is because I filmed a couple of things, one for Inspire and one thing for YouTube, and we filmed it back in like February.
Oh, the lens thing?
The lens and the camera thing.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time to edit because the shooting of it was easy, but then...
The editing's been a nightmare.
Well, it was more the part when I get back to the studio and have to diagnose what I did.
That's what's taken.
Trying to get that shot with what lens it was, what f-stop it was, what camera it was, all of those things is very, very confusing when you do it on the fly like we did. Like, all I did is on the shoot is point the camera to the ground, take a picture. That meant change of lens, but it didn't tell me what
Which
lens.
one? Good
and I
one.
had to look at the video to see what lens that was. And then
So it's been very tedious.
there's a few lenses that don't talk to the camera, so the cameras give me nothing. And I've noticed, even on the Sony, I've noticed with Lightroom, ACR, Photoshop, they're not picking up on the stuff. Like even on my Canon 70-200, it came up that it was 0.15, f.15. There's no way Nomex shoots at that. So anyway, but one thing I did notice, because a lot of things have changed since I filmed them, because the filming of both these were more. It wasn't filmed so much for a tutorial, it was filmed more for me. I wanted to know. Yeah. I wanted to actually know I'm carrying all these lenses in my bag.
Which ones do I actually like?
Yeah, we've got Rara in his position against a wall, beautiful light, stunning light, and the light was going to stay the same. So I went through all the lenses I had and I shot them at different apertures to come back and then flick through all the pictures to see, number one, by memory, which lenses were easy. So I already knew that both of my shorter lenses, like a 35mm and the 50mm, once they were about 5.6, Sony's focus peaking was just a waste of time. Everything showed as focus. And I knew that was wrong. I knew straight away I couldn't have everything at focus there. And when I came back to the computer, I could see that. There was, especially on the 50mm at f5.6, it was nearly a 50% miss rate, whereas on both the 50 and 35 down around f budgies.
I was going to say they're very noisy.
They are very noisy. Both the lenses down at 1.5 and 1.4, I could see straight away the catch light in the eye was in focus and it was easy. So, and same with the Hasselblad lens I put on the Sony, that thing, the focus peaking was not working. I could actually see through my eyes. The peaking's going off there, but nah, that's focus is wrong. And when I got back to looking at the pictures, I was amazed that, there was certain pictures I'd gone straight away, no, I knew I wouldn't like that. It was a 70-200 at 70 at 5.6. It's just, I never liked my 24-70. It's just not, that's not a look that I'm into. So I knew straight away they were wrong. I knew straight away anything sort of 135 to 200, around 2.8 is a nice feel that I do like. Then I knew once I got on my Otis, I just adore that lens fully wide open.
Yeah, I was going to say, you like that down around. So it's 1.4?
1.4, and then there's the Zeiss 135 f2. Those lenses have been my favourite lenses for a long time. But it was amazing how all the other lenses tended to fail, except from a 35mm shot fully wide open at 1.5. It didn't look shallow depth of field. It looked like medium format. I really love those pictures. And that taught me a lot. It taught me a hell of a lot. It's told me what lenses not to carry anymore. And I've redesigned my lens bags in my head, and that'll be another tutorial I'm going to film soon.
Oh, redesigning bags.
No, it's just redesigning. No, just I now know especially what lenses I want with the Sony. So I've actually worked out any other lens I carry with it's wrong. It's not what that I use that camera for. Then the second one that I've just finished editing, which that went up onto YouTube today.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so with that one, it was back when I was first, I love my Hasselblad, absolutely love the H6, but it's what I call my studio camera. When I get out on location, I'm not getting the emotion off it that I want, and it feels a little bit like going back to my film days where I kept questioning myself, I hope I've got this right, I hope they've got this right, and worrying rather than just enjoying the shoot and getting the best out of the shoot. Whereas on mirrorless, I don't tend to do that because I see more of the shots in black and white in my viewfinder or in black and white as my in my finder, and I've relied on that like I used to rely on Polaroids. So I was always, what are you looking for? The boxes over there.
Recyclings, because I care about the environment.
So yeah, Bec's just putting her rubbish out. She nearly fell in there. So back in the film days, I was always happy shooting. Once I shot a Polaroid, oh yeah, that's the shot, I love this. And I was happy to continue. I already decided this was perfect. When I was shooting with DSLRs, because I'm still seeing on the back of the camera pretty much unless I shot with JPEG, which I can't do with a Hasselblad. I'd get a black and white version of it, or a version that would make me feel more comfortable about the picture. Then the mirrorless came along, and that's why I jumped on the mirrorless, and I spent a bit of time looking at that before I did this step. And the Sony's been great, but I've never been attached to it like I have the Hasselblad.
Yeah.
I've never had that same attachment. It's always been fine. It does its job. It does it pretty easy, except if you need to go into the menus, and I hate the menu system in the Sony.
Menus
So
is an absolute nightmare.
Can't believe a camera camera company can get it that wrong. But
sorry to interrupt you, but just while it's in my head, I know I've heard you give Sony a good rap for things like focus peaking and zebraing, but I haven't heard you talk about how much you love it like you have with your Hasselblad or with your Leica.
No, I love it when I'm shooting with my Otis on there, because I can't get that on the Canon, because there's no way knowing I can focus it on the Canon.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They're just the viewfinder's so small, so crappy. But I was I needed that emotion to do my natural light, and I kept finding, I kept finding the Sony felt too digital.
No. I think someone even commented on the video.
A few have actually commented exactly that, because they've seen the shot. So thanks to Leica in Melbourne, like Leica in Australia, they don't rent gear out or loan it. And I've gone in there one day and had a chat to them, and at first, we don't do this. And then someone came out of the storeroom and said, oh, you're Peter Coles? And then the manager gave me a ring during the week and said, look, we can arrange you a loaner if you want to loan one, just so you can try it. And I said, yeah, well, I'm not prepared to spend anywhere near that money on stuff I haven't made sure that I'm going to love.
Yeah.
So they gave us some cameras to have a play with. Bec and I did a quick little play for half an hour, an hour?
Yeah, so it was really
It wasn't that long.
Was that when we went to Olinda?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not really long at all.
It may be an hour, and I had the two that had the Leica SL2 and the Leica SL2S, and I had my Sony. Mm-hmm. And I quickly did some shots on all three, using a couple of the SL lenses as well. And then the next day, I went up with Rara.
Potentially.
Yes, I still had all those cameras, so it must have been. So the next day we went up there with Rara, and we actually filmed me doing this. And I couldn't believe how comfortable I was with the camera within just the time I spent with Bec. The next day I was fully comfortable with all the menu system.
Well, even just how much you were crapping on about how big the viewfinder was.
Oh, viewfinder's like the best thing in the world.
It's like a friggin' HD TV screen.
No, 4K. So it's sticking a 4K TV on there.
And it's huge as well. It's like going to the movies. Yeah. It's like massive.
The menu system was just about as good as the Hasselblad X1D, which I still think that's the one thing Hasselblad got right on that camera, was their menu system was so simple with the icons and that. Mm. But the Leica's so close with the menu system, I still don't have any problem with it at all. And I shot with Rara there, and I just couldn't believe how easy it was to shoot and get the looks I want, just changing lenses and going back and forward. And then when I finally got around to actually getting all the images up and doing the comparison, last night when I was doing a little bit of filming of the comparison, I'm looking at them at 16-bit TIFFs in black and white, green channel, sharpening turned off, but that's all that was done with them. I hadn't touched Photoshop, and then bringing them back up in a preview software to look at them. I couldn't believe the tiny subtleties. And I still looked at the picture. I said, doesn't matter. You could even take all my markings off the bottom, and I'll tell you which was what with what camera, because that little subtlety is the reason I fell in love with the Leica for doing a certain style of photography work.
I remember we were shooting a little while ago, before America. It wasn't too long ago. Anyways, I was shooting, and then you asked me if you could do a little bit of using me as a guinea pig, to do some more this kind of stuff, like lens testing. I can't remember which lens it was, but there was one particular lens that you put on, and I had a look at the photos, and I was like, if you ever shoot me with that lens ever again, I swear to God, that is absolutely not it. I think it was one of your vintage ones, but it just made my face so round, rounder than it normally is. It was the worst.
I can't remember what lens it was.
Whatever it was, I never wanted to show
because two real vintage lenses, I wouldn't have thought it would have gone the other way because they're wide angles, so it would have narrowed your head.
You did.
You sure you just didn't have puffy head that day?
No, it was really bad. I'm going to find the photos.
Maybe I did it on purpose.
No, I'm going to find the photos. Not for everyone to see, but so I can
share them.
No, you cannot.
I'll put them up on my OnlyFans.
I'll screw up my up even more. I'll purposefully break the accounting standard. I'm sorry I didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, no, it is weird how different like lenses, like, I don't know, just like you said, like subtle differences that lenses could make. It's crazy.
Just subtle differences the whole packages make. And I got a rant that I most likely do on YouTube in about
Rant in your pant.
maybe a month. I'll give a certain camera company a bit of time to do something, and I'm going to do a rant because I found at the workshops, you're going to get a sneak preview of the rant. I said to a lot of the photographers there, you need all to send emails to your marketing divisions of the company, the camera company of the cameras you're using, and complain because this is unfair, because you're all standing here and half the people can do it and the other half can't. So it's made it a very unfair playing field because the marketing divisions of camera companies have got no idea what a photographer really wants to make their job better.
Even though they should be garbage cans, not garbage cannots.
Oh, so how long have you been waiting to put that in?
I've said that in another one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I said it.
And nobody commented.
Yeah, they did. Everyone thought it was hilarious, so I thought I'd bring it up again because it's a good one. It's hilarious.
I find hashtag not in model a good one too.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not. Although, I don't know, I haven't had it in a while. Thank Lord.
I asked everybody to do it and they didn't do it.
No, I think that...
Did you say, no, they were scared of, after the last
Probably.
one they saw the wrath of Bec.
Yeah, I think people are
Angry
realising
Bec.
that I can be a bit sassy and they're
Just
like...
a bit.
Well, I don't know. I just really don't like things being repeated.
Really?
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 It's fine once or twice.
Really?
But, see?
Really? You never complain about cool.
I did once. I told you to stop talking and now you don't say anything. And I'm like, well, don't you like shooting with me? You're not saying anything.
Oh no, that was in Barcelona.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, that's because Anne said it, and then afterwards Anne's gone, I don't think I should have told you that, because you get better pictures of me than anybody else. And Anne will be listening, so I hope you don't. I hope I'm telling the truth, Anne. She's mostly vacuuming with COVID. So she got COVID coming back from America. Well, you're safe. We just disowned her before. Touch wood. You know,
I'm not sick.
it's not, well, that's lacquer on the wood, so you haven't got to wood yet. Maybe just touch your head, that'll do. Anyway, that one night, she said it, then you said it. So I just went dead quiet. And the photos just went downhill. The photos just went downhill like 100 times.
But you still do it now. I feel like the last few times we've been shooting, you've been shooting and you just don't say anything. And I'm like, oh, cool, he hates it.
Well, maybe I do. No, what do you mean didn't say anything?
You don't say anything. You just go
I've shot you once in a month.
No, but the last time we shot before that, you weren't saying anything. You were just sitting there clicking away.
I can't remember what shot that was.
We were shooting in the studio, I think. Bird budgies. Now I need to sneeze.
Nearly a sneeze.
We were trying to do something with the chair.
Oh, yeah, because I wasn't saying anything because you weren't happy.
Because you weren't saying anything. I was like, Peter hates it.
No, you said you don't like sitting on chairs.
Well, I felt fat.
You felt fat.
Because I was sitting and I was like...
You could see your bumps.
See my rolls. And then you weren't saying anything and I was like, oh, he hates it, so...
No, because I was more thinking about what am I going to do with this because I don't like it.
Exactly, you hated it. So that's fine. So that's why I didn't want to shoot with you in America.
You weren't liking it either.
Well, maybe that's why I didn't want to shoot with you in America, is because you've cancelled me. You don't like shooting with me.
That was easy. I thought it'd take a year to get her to stop pestering me for shoots. It just took one friggin' podcast.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry, I must hate you so much. You got 2 new retouches this week.
Yeah, well, that's because that was from old stuff. You don't like me anymore now. You don't like
that
me.
Was... One of them was in Austin. How old are we going to go?
I don't know. I'm running out of things.
You're running out of
tired.
things. I'm tired.
I had a crappy night's sleep. Right. Leave me alone.
Left me alone.
Oh my God, I can't stop. I'm really sorry. I feel like everyone's... Cause at least normally with the other mics that people don't like, I can turn away. With this one, I don't know how to muffle my cough. Yeah. Oh, I
when
have some next to your gross thing.
What gross thing?
This gross thing you've got.
Oh, the bottle opener?
It's disgusting.
It's a bottle opener. It's just because you're looking at it the wrong way. It's not that at all.
It's female.
No, it's not. It's a gum nut. Look at it carefully.
It's
It
not
looks like
a
an
gum nut.
Australian gum nut.
Well, it's not. It is female.
If yours looks like that, you got a problem.
It's female downstairs.
Downstairs.
And it's very crude.
It's not crude. It doesn't work. It doesn't. It broke. You put a bottle in there and it just falls back out.
So you get
It's been around the block a bit.
So you get with buying Chinese crap.
In
That
fact,
was during your spree of buying a
I
bunch
know,
of...
it was supposed to be from America. And it
Yeah.
got shipped from China, those dodgy freaking...
Yeah, that was during your spree.
So I've cancelled that spray, I just don't buy.
We were in the lockdown, we couldn't do anything, and Peter kept falling for every friggin' ad that he saw on Facebook of like, buy this. So,
I didn't fall for everyone just because there was that really, really cool wind-up table and they sent us a pair of gardening gloves instead.
I forgot about that. That was the absolute best. But Peter's ordered this, it was like this big wooden table. It had a little crank and it would wind up. He's like, this would be perfect for the studio. I can put a white foam board on it and I can wind it up and I can adjust it to get like a nice bounce. This would be perfect. And it was a really good price.
Yeah, it was just this a wind-up
wooden table.
wooden table. That sort of just the scissors that did that. And I thought, this is perfect for me to put my whiteboards on. I can adjust it to the right height.
And so one day we get a delivery from the postman and
It's the
it's
size
this
of a...
tiny little thing and Peter's like, the hell is this? He opens it up, it's a pair of gardening gloves. And he's like, I did not order these. I just started I think I moved straight to crying. I think I skipped laughing and I just moved straight to crying. It was the funniest thing ever. And then we couldn't figure out what it was and I eventually searched tracking numbers in emails and I found out it was meant to be the table. And then that was a whole new set of tears of just cry laughing.
Yeah, they were going to, they said don't put a complaint in. They're going to ship us a new one. We said, that's fine, send us the tracking number.
No. Withdraw your complaint and then...
We'll send, no, send us a tracking number. Then once we've shipped it, so we never withdrew our complaint and we got our money back and they never ever shipped it.
I had to put through so many complaints with PayPal in that month of all the crap that you bought.
You shouldn't leave me alone when I'm depressed.
I had to because I had a curfew because I live in Melbourne. And I had to go home.
Bex found the keys to my wine fridge.
There's no keys. No.
Oh, so you broke the lock?
No.
Yeah.
Hey. Welcome.
All right, so I've come up with 2 things to talk about and you still haven't come up with one. So I don't know how much time we've got left.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Well, you better come up with something that's going to keep people very entertained for 7 minutes.
I've been keeping them entertained for the past 55
No, they don't want you. What's 55 minus 7? And you do my books. Thank you. You still aren't
48.
there yet.
Mm-hmm.
48. Are we sure about this?
Yes.
It's now 48 and now it's 48 minutes that we've been going.
I don't know. I failed year 9 or 10 math.
I failed school.
Yeah, I failed math.
Find a different...
And you're the one who has me... I've been very transparent that I'm really bad at numbers and I don't understand accounting. And then you're like, you can do my books. So this sounds like a you thing.
All right. I absolutely hate editing videos. Well, let's do a swap.
All right.
It's going to take you about 50 to 60 hours a week.
I'm happy to do that.
On your same wage.
Yep.
You're going to work 50 to 60 hours a week, plus all your other jobs. Yeah, right. I can see that
If we don't have to do
happening.
accounting.
I told you, if you don't want to do it, we'll employ a bookkeeper. Someone who's a better model than you, is nicer in the morning before a cup of coffee. Wow. So if I get an accountant and a bookkeeper, they could travel.
Why?
Well, then they could look after the books while I'm travelling, and then you could
They
just
can
stay
do it
with Jared.
No, because they can do it remotely.
No, they could stay with Jared. You could stay with Jared, and you could be with your cats.
No, because they can do the books remotely, whereas I can't assist remotely. I can't put on this charm remotely. Oh, unless we get one of
This
the...
charm remotely. Beck doesn't seem to be as bubbly as we see on her YouTube videos. Yeah, we were dead mouse last night. She's had 2 hours sleep,
Yeah.
and even then she didn't sleep.
No.
That was quite funny.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere else that made that comment, and that was that Paris when you slept till like midday?
Yes. Yeah.
And you came in just stressing like to the hell out. Why didn't you wake me up? Well, Anne and I tried for like 2 hours.
Anne?
No, who was with us? Or was it Tess?
I was going to say Anne wasn't there.
No, it was Tess. Sorry, Anne. You should have been there. Instead of vacuuming.
I am the same normally. I was just a bit like busy.
It was funny though, the 2 days it was said.
I think someone else said it in America, but I think something was going wrong for me that day.
Like no model turning up?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think
a model ringing up and saying, I think I got COVID this morning. Another one saying, I got robbed.
Oh, yeah, we spoke about this in the last one.
Oh,
that we had.
we're
we
not
said.
going to talk about it again then.
Well, no, we said that we had a model cancel on us in every single city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so fun times.
So we got cancelled in every city. Well done.
Cancelled. Ah, well, whatever. It's fine. It all worked out in the end, didn't it?
And anybody on the Inspires, we've got a really cool little shoot that we did with Anne.
Oh, yeah, in New York.
New York, and it was actually, I knew Times Square was like this. I know that you're legally allowed to be topless in Times Square, and you don't have to have paint on your boobs or anything. And so we did a topless shoot with Anne. He just had a pair of black undies on, a little bit Helmut Newton style, full sun.
Super Helmut Newton. You mean a little bit?
Right. We had police like within 2 steps of us, didn't say a single word. We had a police car pull up in front of her and just kept driving.
We had a bus full of people walk past who took photos of her.
Did nothing. And it's pretty surreal when.
But for the most part,
I had more hassles when I've shot a proper fashion shoot than.
Yeah. Well, even my implied nude in Times Square, I think we had more we had more people standing around you, like behind you while you were shooting that. We had more people standing around that than Anne standing on the side of the road wearing nothing but heels and a G-string. And people are just walking back and forth, and there's like a bus pair, and people are, but people just didn't really bat an eyelid. It's so bizarre. People are just, do they do it because they're like, they see it in their peripheral and they're like, oh, I shouldn't look. It's a topless person. I shouldn't look.
Or is it, Times Square, that's just normal?
Yeah, I don't know.
But even the guy that we got up in front of his lunch, like his little wheelie van with the dirty dogs.
Oh, that guy. That weird guy.
No, the one that... The
one that led us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I just want to do some shoots and she's going to be topless. He goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he didn't even sit there and watch her. He just walked away.
Oh, no, he kind of looked over a little bit.
Yeah, but he wasn't standing. He could have stood right in front.
He wasn't like, yeah, no, but he was like, he kind of, but he looked at me a little bit with this kind of like confused look on his face, like, what the hell?
I'm halfway through editing the blog. So once I've got the blog should be up next week. So if you want to see some of the pictures, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
we just
they're
had
pretty
heaps of people walking in between us. There's this naked girl, or half-naked girl in between them. And
they're pretty cool. And if you're on Inspire, you can go check out the video.
And we're not doing a sales thing on it. It was just...
No, just letting you know.
Because
I know a lot of people that are on Inspire listen to our podcast because they were all at the workshops and they all tell us this. And they tell us that they love us. And we love you guys too. I miss you guys. I appreciate you guys.
You were just saying how glad you are to be back in Australia.
No, but I said as much as I miss it and as much fun as I had, I'm happy to be home because I miss my bed.
My bed.
People aren't in my bed. That would be really weird. Bed is reserved for my cats and Jared and all of my cat's fur that I'm constantly covered in now that I'm home.
And the odd half-empty glass of wine.
Yeah, well, that's on the bedside table. There might be a vape floating around somewhere though.
You can't tell me you haven't spilt wine in your bed. I would not believe you.
Oh my God, speaking of spilling wine, so you know my new pants I got from New York? Oh, I don't know if I've given the update on my pants and the pants saga.
Are we going to do the new pants in New York first and then do the update, or are you going to just jump like I do?
That's my
All right,
thing.
you jump.
I jump. No, I'll go to my new pants I got from New York. They're so nice. They're just like these grey trackies and they just say New York City down the side, but oh my God, when I tell you, they're the softest things ever.
Oh, this is our last minute shopping,
Yeah.
like an hour before we had to get on the
Oh,
plane.
those pants are the softest
And
things
you
ever.
weren't going to buy, and all of a sudden, oh, these feel soft, I'll buy this.
Yeah, they're amazing. So I've gotten home. I'm all excited. I put them on. Oh, hey, it's Louisa Dunn on the TV for Maya. Oh, she's gone now. Christ. Do you know how often that happens? I see people, I'm like, I know them. Anyways,
So does that make you famous?
no, it's just weird because I'm like, I know that person.
So anybody in podcast land, we've got a really good bourbon company in Australia
Called
called
The
The Gospel. So if you're in Australia and you want real legitimate American bourbon, but nice high end, The Gospel, they're just in
from Melbourne.
From Melbourne, Brunswick. They're really, really cool. They'll ship anywhere in the world.
Anyways, I put on these nice, comfy, soft pants, and this is my first time wearing them. I sat on the couch with Jared, I've poured both of us a wine, and then something or other's happened. I'm sitting there, I'm all nice and relaxed, I've got my wine in my lap. For some reason, Jared's had to get up and do something, and he's felt the need to freaking clunk and bounce around him. Ow, that was my knee. And him bouncing around made my arm go like that, and then the friggin' wine came out and spilled all over my pants. First time wearing them.
Whereabouts did it spill?
Like all over the legs and stuff.
Oh, not in the crotch. So it wasn't.
No.
I could see you sitting it between your legs, and that's where it would have spilled.
Well, it kind of was, but the way that it spilled out.
Was out the other way.
So I had to quickly run, but they're not stained, because I quickly ran to the sink and like took them off and washed them and got the stains out, because it just happened. So.
And what did you say to Jared?
Well, they wouldn't be Bec pants if they didn't have wine stains, but thankfully it didn't stain, so you're not in the doghouse. I believe was my exact words.
Slightly different attitude, I reckon. But anyway, so we'll finish off your other pants because
my pants. So I ended up buying a new pair off eBay. So we're just going to pretend that those are the ones that I got when I got my fluke in first class, and they should be here in about 2 weeks' time.
What happens if they don't turn up?
I've got tracking numbers.
What happens if you get a pair of gardening gloves?
Do you want to wear this?
Even better, maybe you've got they've sent you some Iberia pants.
Iberia?
Iberia? The airline that's rated one of the lowest in the world. Well, I can't remember.
I don't even think they have pants on that airline. Oh my God.
So what did you do with the ones that you stole?
I left them in the hotel room. I was going to give them to a homeless person, but then I didn't really...
You were going to give it... So you walk around the streets looking for a homeless person without pants and say, here you go.
No, I was going to give them, but then I don't know, some of the homeless people around were kind of scary and I didn't really want to converse with them, so I just left them in the hotel room.
Well, some of them would like converse. The one out the front didn't have shoes.
I don't know. Oh my freaking God. All right.
It took you a minute. Gotcha.
Oh my God. Wow. Have a good week, guys, and we will see you again next Friday.
See ya.